Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how you can generate reports from Shiny applications. So let's get started. I have a basic R project here. So I'm going to create our files. We're going to start with the app.r because that's going to be our entry point, and we're going to also create a data file. This data file we're going to create our data that we're going to be using to test our application. So there's a package called datasets in R. It has a list of data, and I'm going to use this air quality data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this data into a CSV file. I'm going to write it into a CSV file, call it air quality.csv. So we have our data. Now we can close this one. Let us create our Shiny application. There's a Shiny snippet. So what our app is going to contain some various components. We're going to have first the title of the app, of course, the title panel, of course. We're going to call it generating reports. The second thing we're going to have is a file import for uploading the data. We're going to call this upload. This is important. These IDs are very important, so you should keep them in mind. Upload data. Another one, we have to download it, but before downloading it, you should be able to select the different file types, report types. Report types. For report types, we have three. We have PDF, Word, and HTML. So we're going to call a select input. Then we're going to call it report type. This ID is very important. Select report type. And then we have our choices. Then we're going to have our choices. The first one, we can have PDF. The second one, we can have Word. Of course, Word is going to be docs. This is the extension, and then finally HTML. So what is happening here is these ones are going to be in the drop down, but this is going to be the value of that selection. And then finally, download report button. So we can do download button, and then we can have the ID of report, and then this one we're going to generate report. Now let us try it out. It's working fine. Okay, now so let us handle, since we're going to be uploading the data, we have to handle the data upload. And when you're uploading data in R, what you should note is that you're going to need to know the file extension, and after knowing the file extension, you can able to know how to load the data. So we're going to define a data. Of course, it's going to be a reactive component, and then we have to make sure that it's going to work only if there is an upload. If there is no upload, the data is not going to be set. So we need to define an extension, that is the file extension, and we can extract it using tools. file extension. We're going to have the input, upload, then we have the name, the extension. And then the next thing we can do is we can switch through, because we want to make sure that if it's a CSV file, we're going to use a certain function. If it's a whatever another function, use the appropriate function. So if it's a CSV file, you can use from, then we supply the file name. It's going to be the input, upload, then we have the data path, then we have the delimiter, which since it's a CSV is going to be comma delimited. And then after getting the file, now we can validate it, so that if you upload any other file but from CSV, we're going to tell you, hey, please upload a CSV file. That's how we get our data. So we want to test if this data is there. It's been uploaded successfully. You can get summary, start of the data. You can say output, summary. We're going to get a render print. Then we're going to get a summary. Let's say data. Let's run this, but we've not displayed it here, so we can display summary stats. So we're going to see, and then we say summary. Let's test this out. The comma here. It's uploaded data, then we're going to have it here. So it's working. Now when you see this, we have some issues here, but we had to shut this down. So you can just copy this, then you come here, but when you upload our data, that is not going to be shown. So now we're done with our basic application. Now we want to work on this delete. Now we want to work on the report first, but also we need to define our various functions. So for this, for report formatting to work, we need an RMD file that's going to be rendered. So we can get a report path, which is going to be a temp file, the file extension .rmd. Now we have to copy this file, because when you deploy it to something like, when you deploy it to shinyapps.io, it's not going to work. I'll link the page, the description of that below, so that you can be able to know. So when you're dealing with file systems and they're not, when they're deployed, they definitely look for the file somewhere. So they have to, that's why you're copying it to a temporary file, so that when you deploy it, it does not cause issues. So there's another thing here. When you run this app, remember, I don't have my readme file here, so this thing is not, especially when you're dealing with the file itself, it's going to cause issues. So you can maybe add error handling here, then say file.exists report.rmd. So if the file exists, then we can copy it. Otherwise, I want you to stop and tell me who report.rmd does not exist. Then now when you run it, you should be able to generate the error. Yeah. Now we're going to define a function that's going to render our Rmarkdown. So we are going to call it render report. It's going to be a function of input, output, params, and the format. Since we said our function is going to be rendered in various formats, so let's define our output format, which is going to be a switch. We're going to switch the format. Because we have three. We have PDF, so if it's a PDF, it's going to be a PDF document. Then just copy this and then we have a Word document. If it's going to be a docs, and then finally HTML. Document. So we are going to switch this format. We're going to change this format based on this switch statement. And then after selecting that, we can now come up with a try catch. Whereby we're going to render our markdown dot render. Now we're going to render input, and then we're going to render output file, which is going to be the output, and then we're also going to render the params, which are going to be supplied in the Rmarkdown. And then we have the output format equals the output format, and then we have the environment variable going to be new.env, and we have the parent. Can define the global. It's going to be a global env. And then in case all that doesn't work, and then have an error, we're going to have a function of e, and then we return the message rendering error e message. So this is our render report function. Okay, now we have to implement this function on the server so that when the user clicks this report here, should be able to download. So I'm going to download report, then I'm going to say output. Output report, because we already defined it. It's going to be download handler. Now let's implement. Now for the download handler, I first need the file name. So you can define the file name, which is going to be the function that's going to be pasting the input, upload to the name of the file that has been uploaded, and then you can append it to report dot. Then finally input hashtag, not hashtag, $, this one here, report type. Report type. We have defined the file name, and we need the content. Content equals to be the function of file. Then we define the params, which is going to be a list. Then we have data equals to data. Now this is the data. Click uploading. And then we have to track the notification, show notification, rendering report. The duration equals to null, and the close button equals to false. And then on.exit, we're going to remove notification, paste the ID, then we're going to say add equals to true. Then now we can call the function. Then we can render report. Then we supply the list of items. So input equals to report path, the one we defined earlier. Output equals to file. Params equals to params format equals to input stop report type. And now we are done with our function. So let's make sure that report type. Okay, let's run it and see. Oh, it does not. Yeah, we need to create a RMD file, and then we Rmarkdown a file, and then we can say report as at 2025. Do that, and then we save it as a report. Okay. Now there's some things I want here. So first let me need to PDF. Let me need to Word. So I don't want this behavior. I don't want this default behavior. I just want to add a T or C table of content to be true. These three. And then we have that as well. Then after that, we come to params, and then we say data. And, now let's get the summary of params data. Okay, now let's make sure that it's working. then you can do that. Quality, generate the report, PDF of course. I'm going to overwrite that. Let's generate Word. Then let's generate HTML. Okay, so that's how it works. So guys, that's pretty much how you solve this issue. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.